Okay, good afternoon, class. So today we're looking at your prelim paper that you guys have written. We're looking at not prelim, the June exam, sorry. We're almost there, aren't we? Okay, so we are told that this December is a tomato farmer. In the table below are the frequencies in thousands of different weights of tomatoes grown on a farm. Complete the table in your answer book. So you had the same table in your answer book. So 8 gives you 8, 39. What is 70 minus 67? 3. So there's 3. What is 67 minus 39? Sorry? 28. 28 minus 8? 20. And of course you can test. That's the same. 8 plus 20 is 28. 28 plus 39 is 67. 67 plus 3 is 70. Okay. Then the question says, use your table to sketch a cumulative frequency graph to represent the weight of the tomatoes. Okay. So this is your cumulative frequency graph. So I just need to pull this up here. So let's plot. So when we do plot, we plot the endpoint and the cumulative frequency. So we go 50 and 8. 50 corresponds to 8. But each line here represents 2. Can you see that? Each line represents 2. So this graph has to be, the points has to be accurate. So 50 corresponds with 8. So 100 corresponds with 20. So it's on this line here. 150 corresponds with 67. 50, 60, so 62, 64, 66. So 67 is between those two lines, and then 70 on 200. Okay, which is that point. Without a ruler, freehand, we connect these dots. Okay, and then we ground it to whatever value lies here. Sometimes it's 60, sometimes it's 3, whatever. We ground it to its value there, which in this case is, see, there's one mark allocated for that. Okay, so don't miss that. Alright. Then the next question says, indicate on the ogive, the graph we just drew here, where you would read off the median, which is Q2, the lower quartile, which is Q1, the upper quartile, Q3. Using the labels Q1, 2 and 3 on the approximate axis, on the appropriate axis. So, the median is Q2. So, how many values are there? 70. 70 divided by 2 is 35. So, it's 32, 4, 5. It's in the middle of those two. So, what I do is I take a ruler and I go across and I take this reading here. That is where I will read off my Q2 value, my median. So in this case, the median looks like it's between 110 and 120. So your median here is approximately 115. But everybody's graph will be a bit different. Okay, definitely it won't be a value less than 100 or a value more than 150. But according to your graph, we take the reading there. Okay, then Q1. The lower quartile is half of 35, and half of 35 is 17 and a half. So that is 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 and a half is more to 20, more to 18. Okay. So again, it's just by approximation. So that is your Q1, which to me is approximately 95, 97. Could be 97, 98, 99, 96 there. Okay. And then of course This is going to be 17.5. The 17.5, or we could have just said 70 multiplied by 3 over 4. Okay. Gives you 52.5. So we go 52. Just above there. So 52.5. Again with our ruler, we go across and turn the ruler the other way, go down. So it's midway between. So there's your Q3. So it's approximately 135. People, these values were not asked for. So you don't have to do that. Okay. So where we marked was, we looked at here at these values for that question, for 3 marks. Okay. But while I'm at it, I just gave you the values in. Then it says, use the information above to draw a box and whisker diagram on the axis provided, and it's further given that the lowest tomato weight is 18 grams and the heaviest tomato weight is 165 grams. So this here is about the same, isn't it? Okay. So what I do is I take this here, I think it was under here, no? But anyway, what we do is we say, okay, the lowest, the lightest tomato weight came in at 18 grams. So it's less than 20, not so. Normally we would write it here on top, no? That's what I write at the bottom here. This is 18. The heaviest one is 165. So 165 is midway there. 165. Quartile 2 gets a stroke. Q2, which is 115. Q1 is 77, which is approximately there. In line with that now, no? 77 and 135. Approximately. So there's your box and there's your business. Okay. And then remember that's 97 and 135. This dot is skewed to the left. Okay, can you see it? That means you say half of the data has a wider range than the upper part of the data. Okay. Let's look at the next question. We are told there, calculate the approximate interquartile range. People, how do you calculate the interquartile range? Interquartile range is going to be Q3 minus Q1. So what's your Q3 value? 135 minus 97, which is 40. No. 35, 6, 7, 35, 32. I'm getting 32. I might be wrong. Sorry? 38. So 35 plus 3. I can't think anymore. 38. So your range is, your interquartile range is 38, which means to say the middle half of the data ranges across 38 grams. Okay. Then we are told that Ms. December sells the tomatoes as follows. Okay, she calculates, she sells the tomatoes as follows. We are told that the weight less than 80 and less is rands per tomato. So it's 20 cents or 0.2 rands. Between 80 and 120 grams, it comes in at 35 cents. and for more than 120 grams it comes in at 50 cents per tomato. It costs 6 rand to grow each tomato, irrespective of weight. It sold 6 cents to grow the tomato. Use this information and your own drive to estimate the profit on these tomatoes. Show you working. Alright. Let's go. So we have to find how many tomatoes comes in at a weight less than 80 grams. Okay. So we go here. Okay, I've used this. I've used blue. Let's use black. Okay. They said 80. So there's 80. 80 corresponds with 10. Can you see that? 8 corresponds with. Why do I say 10? Sorry. 80 grams. Or 80. Why am I looking at it? Yeah. 80 grams corresponds with 10. Okay. So therefore, there are 10,000 tomatoes in this category. Can you see that people? Then, from 80 to 120. So let's go. Here's 120. Approximately here. So we go up in the graph. Again, that is on this line here for some reason. How much does that get you? 14,000. Okay. On the memo, my values is a bit different. But because of what we are seeing here, of course, no? So that's going to be 40. So that ranges from 40 to 10. So it's 40 minus 10 is going to give you 30,000 tomatoes with his line between that. And then what are we left with? Anything more than 120, which is this part here. And 120 ends of at 70. So it's going to be 70 minus 40, which is 30. So here it's going to be 30. That is more than 120,000. In the memo, which you'll find in the description box below, you will see that the values I got there was in the first category I got 8. Okay, it was much higher. It was 18, and then the second category was 44 minus 18, and 44 minus 18 gave me 26,000. Yeah, I'm creating 30,000, and then the last one is going to be 70 minus 44. And 70 minus 44 gave me 26. So it's 26,000, and I again got here 30,000. Okay, again, it is to do with what you have in front of you. Okay, so I marked it accordingly. So to calculate the profit, your profit is simply going to be a total income minus your cost. Okay, or your total expenses. So if you do a work at the total income here, it's going to be 10,000 tomatoes sold at 20 cents each. Plus, you got 30,000 tomatoes sold at 35 cents each. And then we have 30,000 tomatoes selling at 50 cents each. And then of course you must subtract the cost per tomato. How many tomatoes are there in total? 70,000 tomatoes, and they are sold. The cost of producing them is 6 cents, or 0.06 rands. Okay, so let's plug that into the calculator. So it's going to be 10,000 times 0.2 plus 30,000 times 0.35 plus 30,000 times 0.5 minus 70,000 times 0.6. According to this calculation, Ms. December makes 23,300 on this produce, or this harvest. In the memo, you'll see I got the answer 21,500. But then again, people, it is dependent on your graph, how your graph looks. Okay. Let's go to the next question. Question 2. We are told that in a recent year, a student entering a local university had a mean entrance examination score of X bar, or the mean, with a standard deviation of S. One of these students achieved a score of 955, and was exactly one standard deviation of the mean. One standard deviation below the mean. So how do you work out one standard deviation below the mean? You say your mean minus standard deviation, and this is exactly 955. Another student achieved a score of 1,495. That is exactly 2 standard deviations above the mean. So it's going to be a mean plus 2 standard deviations. Give me an answer 1,495. Find the mean and the standard deviation of the student's scores. So what I do is I make the mean the subject of the formula. So it's going to be standard deviation plus 955. So what I do is I put this into that equation there. So it's your standard deviation plus 955 plus 2 twice your mean is 1,495. So your 3 times your standard deviation is equal to 1,495 minus 955. Gives you 540 divided by 2. 3, sorry. Divided by 3 gives you 180. So your standard deviation is 180. Okay? And then your mean is going to be 180 plus 955. Plus 955. Give me 1,135. Okay, so the mean is 1,135 and your standard deviation is 180. Okay. Let's look at the next question. The question says in the diagram J, which is 3 and 8. J, which is 3 and 8. K, which is negative 8 and 6. L, which is 4 and 0, are vertices of triangle JKL. M is the midpoint of KL. Show that the coordinates of M is given that. Okay. So what we do is we say your midpoint is going to be x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So m, so it's going to be negative 8 plus 4 over 2 and 6 plus 0 over 2. And your m works out to be negative 4 over 2 is negative 2 and 6 plus 0 is 6 divided by 2 is 3. People, if you're getting this wrong, then you write here on the side k is negative 8 and 6 and L is 4 and 0. That will be x1, x2, y1, x2, y2. You can't be getting stuff like this wrong. Okay? So this is negative 2 and 3. Okay? Let's look at the next question. Here we are told to calculate the length of JM. Calculate the length of JM. So JM is going to be this line here. Okay, this line is also called your median. Okay, so 3.2. So to calculate Jm, you're going to use the formula, the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so J is 3 and 8. So it's going to be 3 minus 2 squared plus 8 minus 3 squared. Okay, so that's going to give you 5 squared plus 5 squared. It's going to be 50, so it's 5 root 2. Is that correct? 5 root 2. Then the next question says, Jm is produced to P. Okay, Jm is produced to P. So Jm is produced to P. So P is lying there, which is negative 17. Of course, it's not going to lie like this. It will be much further. Negative 17 and a y value. Alright. In the third quadrant, such that Jm is equal to a third of MP. That's something to be very important there. So Jm is equal to a third of MP. Determine the value of y. Okay. So people, we know what Jm is. Jm is 5 root 2 equals a third MP. MP is going to be this thing. Okay. So a third MP is actually shorter. It's a third of that, you know? So it's about approximately the 3 of P would like. But okay. MP, again distance formula. So I'm going to go with the distance formula between these two. So it's going to be negative 2 minus 17 becomes plus 17 squared plus 3 minus y squared. Alright, so what do I do first? Multiply throughout by 3. So I'm going to get 15 root 2 is equal to the square root of 15 squared plus 3 minus y squared. What do I do now? Get rid of the brackets by squaring both sides. Okay. So it's going to give you 225 times 2, which is 450, I think. 15 root 2 squared will give you 450. So it's 450 is equal to the square root cancel the square. 225 plus 3 minus y squared. So that over gives me 225 again. So 225 is equal to 3 minus y all squared. What we do now to get rid of the brackets, I introduce plus minus on the one side. So it's going to be 15 is equal to 3 minus y squared plus minus. So y without the square now. Y is equal to 3 plus minus 5, 15. So y is equal to 3 plus 15 is 18. Or y is equal to 3 minus 15 is negative 12. What's the condition? It has to lie in the third quadrant. So y must be negative. So it can't be the 18. Okay. There's another way of doing it. You can could have worked with the gradient there as well. Because the gradient is going to be much easier. Much easier. Okay. We are told that Jm is produced. What does that mean? It was produced. It's actually the same straight line here. Not so? So then these points are collinear. So the gradient of Jm is equal to the gradient of MP. So we don't actually need to use this unless the question specifies. You must use using the information given determine the value of y. Because if you look at it this way, it's going to be that change in x, y, so it's 8 minus 3 over 3 minus 2. It's equal to MP which is 3 minus y over negative 2 minus 17. So it's 5 over 5 equals 3 minus y over 15. This was now 1. Cross multiply. So you got 15 is equal to 3 minus y. So y is minus 12. Which is much easier than what I just did there. Okay. I think one of you got that actually, that method, and added to the memo as well when I was marking. I didn't see it. Okay, but you see nice things when you mark different people and stuff. Especially when you mark and you see people from different schools. And you see a lot of different methods of doing things. Which is nice. Then again, all sounds are nice. People question 4. You are told that in the diagram shows a circle with center. No. The diagram shows a circle with the equation x minus 3 all squared plus y plus 5 all squared is equal to 2 to 5. Right, let's make this a bit smaller. So df, make this smaller. So df So we are told that df is the diameter. So if df is the diameter, what comes to mind? Angle is 90. Not so, why? Angle in semicircle. Then we are told that angle of inclination of df is theta. So there is your theta angle there. And the angle of inclination of fe is beta. Then we are told that ED is G. EDG. This angle here is 43,81. Then we are told that, that's the right one here. So I want to move this up a little bit bigger. Okay. Then we are told that D is 15 and minus 15. So everything that I've seen now, all the information is with us now. Okay. First question. Determine the coordinates of C. People, what is C? C is the midpoint, the center. Not so. So how do you calculate C? C would simply be the additive inverse of this. So it's 3 and negative 5. Let's go to 4.2. Question 4.2 says, determine the coordinates of F. Where's the long question? Good. Okay. So determine the coordinates of F, which is this point here. So what do we have? We have the one endpoint and we have the midpoint. So let F be x and y for now. So in other words, x plus 15 over 2 must give you the x midpoint, which is 3. And then you got y plus negative 14 over 2 must give you negative 5. That's naturally over 1. Cross multiply. So x plus 15 is equal to 6. X then equal to negative 11. No, negative 9. Correct? Okay, negative 9. And then that's going to be y minus 14 is equal to negative 10. Y is equal to 4. Okay. Any confusion there? No? Next question. Calculate the gradient of CD. Gradient of CD. So C D. CD's gradient is the same as FD's gradient is the same as FC's gradient. No? So the gradient of CD is going to be change in y by change in x. So it's minus 14 minus 5 over 15 minus 3, which is negative 9 over 12, which is negative 3 over 4. Okay. Any confusion there? Negative 3 over 4. 4.4. Value of theta. Now, theta is dependent on the gradient of that line, not so which we just calculated now. So 4.4. So tan of theta equals the gradient of FD or CD, whatever. So that's going to give you negative 3 over 4, which means to say that the theta angle is going to be obtuse. Okay, so we go arctan, shift tan of negative 3 over 4. Oops. Negative 3 over 4. Then what do? We add 180. Gives you an answer of 143, 13 degrees. As you can see, it's obviously 143, 13 degrees. Okay. Then the question, so all this information is of course on the diagram at our disposal, but I would like to keep the diagram in focus. Okay. The question then says determine the equation of DC. The equation of DC. People, the equation of DC will be in the form of y equals mx plus c. Not so. So DC, so y is equal to mx, which is in this case negative 3 over 4x plus c. So I'm going to substitute one of the points that this graph is going through. These are 3. I'm going to go with D. So there's an x and a y. So negative 14 is equal to negative 3 over 4 times 15 plus c. So c works out to be negative 14 plus 5 over 4 times 15. Okay, which is negative 11 over 4. Is that correct? No? What's the question? I'm reading this as DC. This is DG, people. Let's just say yes. What's wrong with you? I'm actually working out the wrong thing. You see where the G is? Alright. Did I tell us this is a tangent? So if that's a tangent, we know that this angle is going to be 90 degrees. So take us off. Sorry about that. I looked at the wrong letter. So the gradient of and I delete 4.5. Oops. Yes. This thing is still on holiday, but it's let's try now. There's a will, there's a way. Right. Let's go again. Determine the equation of tangent G, DG. We know that. That stands 90 degrees to the radius. So the gradient of the tangent is going to be 4 over 3. Because the gradient of the radius times the gradient of the tangent is minus 1. So y is equal to 4 over 3x plus c. So at this point we're going to substitute the only point that lies on this graph, which is D. It's 15 and minus 14. So negative 14 is equal to 4 over 3 times 15 plus c. So c works out to be a negative 14 minus 4 over 3 times 15. Gives you negative 34. So therefore y is equal to 4 over 3 x minus 30. Okay. Let's look at the next question. The next question says calculate the gradient of Fe. Calculate the gradient of Fe. So where's Fe? This line here. But what do I need for that? Gradient of Fe. Did I work out beta then? No. How many marks? For 4. We got theta. So we need beta, not so. Right. So if you look here, we can actually calculate this angle here. Okay, because the angle's on the straight line. Then, remember this is 90. Why? Angles in a semicircle. Then I can go with sum of triangles. Why? Sum of triangles. Right. So then we will have EF. And then exterior angles equal to sum of the two interior opposites. That's how we calculate B. I'm sure there's another way. There should be another way of calculating that. Okay, but I don't see it, yeah? Let's just check on the memo. Oh yes, this easier way. The memo has it, is a tan chord theorem. Can you see it? There's a tangent, so that angle is equal to angle F. So angle F is equal to 43,81, tan chord theorem. Do I need to write my reason here? No, it's not Euclidean, unless they say with reason. Okay? So that is going to be 43,81. Okay, so to calculate beta, we know that theta, which is 143,13, equals F, which is 43,81, plus angle B, which is exterior angle of triangle. Exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two interior opposite angles. Okay, so angle beta works out to be 143,13 minus 43.81 gives me an answer of 99,32. Okay. So this is this angle here. So how do we work out the gradient? So the gradient is going to be tan of the theta, which is 99,32 in this case. So the gradient of that line gives you a negative 6,09. Negative 6,09. That's the gradient of Fe. Okay. Is there any confusion there? Okay. Let's carry on. So the next question says 4.7. Another circle. So another circle with the equation x squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 6y plus 5 is equal to 0 is given. Determine the coordinates of the center of the circle. Okay? So the coordinates of the center, I need to complete the square. So it's x squared plus 8x plus a number plus y squared minus 6y plus a number is equal to minus 5 plus the first number plus second number. I took 5 over the equal sign. So how do I get this number to complete the square with? It's going to be b, which is 8 times a half, which is a quarter, which is 4. And 4 4 squared is 16. What is 6 times half? 3. And 3 squared is 9. So there's your perfect square trinomial there. And which is x plus 4 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 9 plus 16 is 25 minus 5 is 20. The coordinates of the center, negative 4 and okay. 4.7.2. Show with calculation that the two circles will intersect. Give a reason for your answer. So when would two circles intersect? Okay? So the two circles intersect in the case where you've got the circles like this. The distance between the two centers is less than the sum of the